Hey there, 225. As we keep reading here in session 3, what I want to do is just set the stage for what's happening here in chapter 16. What we're not asking you to do is anything new. This is all a reinvestigation of things you already know, maybe tacitly, which means not at the surface, or perhaps very tangibly, which means at the surface. What do you know about things that you've already discovered in taking your photos? And the question we ask here is, can you read light? And I think that in the feedback that you have received, the video feedback from your 100 photos, what I try and do is give you ideas on how to read the light. I will, not every time, but most times say, I can tell this is midday because I can tell this is early morning because I can tell this is late night because. And that is what is happening here with these images behind me. What we're doing is, as a photographer, how can we use the data in the image, so the light, in order to tell the story of what the image we're trying to capture. So let me just really quickly behind us here. Number 1 is done at golden hour at the beginning of the day. So this is right after sun comes up. Everything gets that really nice golden hue. Same thing on number 5. This is golden hour right before the sun goes down. You can see the sun behind them there. I would say that this is like no more than 20 minutes to sunset. You can use those silhouettes here very effectively. Golden hour, by the way, is something you can look up on Google, for example, but I will say on your favorite search engine, because Google's gross lately. You can say golden hour Rockford today, and it will come up with a time for you. So this morning, I go out for a walk every morning. The sun had not yet come up at 5 a.m., and there was light, but there wasn't a ton of gold to that light. By the time the sun had really come up over the horizon at about 5:25, that's where we started getting those golden hour like images that maybe we could produce. I would say image number 2 is probably just after that. So just after golden hour, sometime in the morning. The sun is still offset pretty low, so not midday, let's say. Number 3 is closer to midday. You can see that shadow is being cast straight down on the left-hand side of that image. That tells me it's probably ish midday. However, if you look in the lower right-hand corner, we do have some longer casts of shadows there. So it's not noon, it's after noon. Number 4 is getting close to sundown. So think about the 5, 6, 7 o'clock hours, when we have lots of sunlight, because those shadows are cast very, very long. So right before sun goes down is when we cast the longest shadows. I've read that in photography books for my entire life. It turns out it's entirely true. I also wanted to point out to you here in chapter 16, this is page 267. You can read what the light is telling you here. To my eyes, number 6 and number 10 are golden hour shots. We have long shadows. We have the gold texture to everything. If you look at number 6, we have the contrast between the green and the gold on the trees. We have the long shadows that help accompany and add texture to that pathway, the road that we see there. On image number 10, we have those long shadows being cast from the right-hand side of the image. We have the nearly completely black inside of the building behind the gentleman with the upright base. That is part of the image that gives that compelling texture. Number 9, number 8, those are probably done on very cloudy or overcast at the very least days. Number 8, you can tell there's not a ton of shadows happening there. So it gives to us more opportunities for those grays and those blues to come out. Number 9, you can see that is probably done on a cloudy day because there's not a ton of extra shadow happening here. So clouds help to dissipate the light. When the light is dissipated like that, there are fewer shadows. That's a great time to take images of, let's say, plants, trees, things of that nature, because there are fewer shadows. And lo and behold, if you read the need to know sections, you can see that bullet point number 4 there is overcasts are good days for organic subjects such as flowers. There you have it.